Hi, Annie. Good to see you again.
Oh, you too, Davey. We've been talking off and on, and I think I'd like to give a little time to something I call the big game, if you're up
That
for it.
sounds exciting.
Yeah. For years, I was trying to figure out why is it that that certain kinds of things, like suffering, actually get so much attention, and in spiritual circles generally, and in life. And so oh, and the other thing was, how could you explain how everybody's life would have these happenings or occurrences or situations or bad news, good news that had an intelligence to them, because if you look back, for instance, on your life or mine, you can see like, oh my God, it was really good that I was whatever I did, whatever, because though I didn't know it, it was leading me to something else. And that's an extremely bright, broad intelligence that would be able to do such a thing. So I was looking for ways to sort of simplify that notion. And I came up with this sense that so here's something that's real. What is? What is the reality of being or consciousness, or what is? And because it's what is and it's real, things that are in the environment that seem to be real but are not, like the sense that I'm a person, this is always naturally pulling on it. So there's a gravity to the real and a momentum to the unreal, but the gravity is the greater thing. So if somebody's suffering, it's when the gravity has gotten a hold and asks for attention to see if this can be noticed. Most suffering is asking in one way or another for collapse of the illusion into its source. So that's the big game. And so you can see that just the fact that this is, and it has all the gravity, and this seems to be, but it only has momentum and fear to keep it going, that the big game would be that this is always going to win, but how long that takes is up to your denial systems and whatever else. But so that's the big game, and that way I can explain some of the intelligence of being. But that's my little thing. How
Yeah,
about you? Yeah.
thank you. I find that it really depends on the person of how entangled they are with the suffering and the identification with it. So I think I've seen it's possible where there's an observation, like a witness of the suffering, but at the same time, knowing it's not me. So there's an awareness of the bigger part that you mentioned that's witnessing the suffering, but at the same time also experiencing the suffering and knowing it needs to be transformed. So I think it's that, like, either I'm totally entangled here and I'm identified with it, or I'm
Right.
going, oh, I know there's something bigger. And it could be from both sides, that this part is seeing, or there is something else, or this part is watching, like, oh, there's something entangled here, it just needs to be detangled, and it's going to take a bit. And I think the importance is knowing that there's something deeper just coming to that, even though suffering might still take some time to be dissolved.
Right. And that's I would call that a consciously playing the big game. Because if you're consciously playing the big game, you can ask questions like that. If you're not, you just figure, I got to get rid of my wife. I got to get more money. I got to buy that car. Whatever it is that entangles you with the world. So
It does. So I think this is such a big topic. We should continue that in our next conversation. So
good idea.
stay tuned.